So I've written this story and I think it would be nice to have it published, but well, I'm kind of afraid to do it. What if people don't like it, or I can't get a publishing contract, or well, I don't know how to self-publish. I don't know if I could do that. And what if I do that and I get a bunch of bad reviews, and oh man, that would be so humiliating. If this sounds like you and you've written a story, it's ready to be published, but you're afraid to publish it, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Colleen M. Story, founder of writingandwellness.com. I've written 7 books, 3 for writers, 4 novels. The latest one that has just come out is The Curse of King Midas. Please go check this out. And I'm here to talk to you today about being afraid to publish. This is a really normal thing to feel. In fact, I don't know of anyone really that isn't afraid to publish, because we know once we put our work out there that we are subjecting ourselves to judgment. We are allowing other people to not only form opinions about our work, but then share those opinions wherever they may want to share them in a very public manner. Being afraid to publish is a very common emotion to feel, and one that you absolutely should feel okay feeling. But what you may not want to do is let it stop you. You may want to go ahead and publish anyway. As long as you are safe in your little writing nook, you can only get so far. You can write, you can try to improve your writing, but until you actually put it out there and start getting that feedback from people, you are limiting yourself. You can keep learning, you can keep taking workshops, you can read books, you could even send it out to an editor and learn that way. But there is no substitute for putting your work out there and seeing what sort of feedback you get. I would, of course, advise that you always create the best work that you can. Do make sure you get it edited. That's very important. But then put it out there, because when you do that, so many things happen that help you grow. Number 1, you get feedback from people. Number 2, you finish that project, which opens you up to do the next one. It is published, it is done, you can now move on. It is way too tempting to keep tinkering with something that you have already written, because it's easier, frankly, than starting over and writing something new. But the way you become a better writer is to finish this book, publish it, do another book, publish it, do another book, publish it. I can tell you after writing 7 books that this is absolutely the best way to learn. You can't do that as long as you protect yourself and keep yourself in this one little place. I have yet to have any book that I've put out, including my very first one, that there wasn't at least 1 or 2, a handful of readers that got it, that loved it. At least some of your readers are going to enjoy your work if you make sure you put your best work out there. When you have even a handful of readers come back to you and tell you how they enjoyed your story, that is priceless, especially when you are just getting started on your publishing journey. Put that book out there and you'll see what I mean. When you get somebody that says, oh, I just really like this book, whether in person or on a review, that's going to do a lot to help motivate you to keep going. So when you're first going to put that book out there, it feels like, if one person doesn't like this, or if I get one bad review, I'm just going to die, it's just going to be the end of my existence. Teach yourself that this is not the case. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of your writing career if somebody doesn't like it, or anything like that. You have to be brave enough and courageous enough to do that, and then you will see, it's not as huge a deal as I thought it was going to be. And more on that in a minute. You know that if you have a work that you feel is close to being publishable or ready to be published, that you're thinking a lot about it. Should I publish it? Shouldn't I publish it? When you are in a place of indecision, you haven't decided yet. You don't know if you should go this way or go this way. That is painful for you mentally. It is much easier and a big relief to make a decision one way or the other, okay? So you say, maybe I'll decide not to publish it. You'll feel a relief, but you will also feel a sense of relief if you decide to publish it. Okay, I'm gonna publish this thing. There's a relief in that, and you're gonna stop thinking about it. You're gonna stop doing your pros and cons list. You're gonna stop worrying about, should I or shouldn't I? If it's ready, if you've had it edited, if you feel like it's a good work, then publish it so you can stop worrying about it. Your publishing journey matters more to you. Each book that you create matters more to you than it does to anybody else on the planet. You think before you've published your first book that if I put it out there, nobody likes it. Well, all my friends are going to know, all my family's going to know, all my social connections are going to think, what was she thinking? It's not like that. This is more about you. It is about you and your writing journey and your writing growth. You cannot continue to grow if you do not publish, at least not to the level that you would if you published. You will have a faster track to getting better, and you will find more where your niche really is. You may think you already know, maybe you do, but the more that you publish and the more you get feedback, the more you'll fine-tune that to where you find where you really belong, and there's a lot of satisfaction in that. This is about you and your journey. When you write a story, you kind of feel incomplete until you have readers. It's like musical artists who create songs. It isn't complete till they go out and perform those songs. For writers, we're not quite complete until we have readers. When you do finish that circle by publishing the book and finding readers, there's the satisfaction of completing the circle, but there's also the motivation to go on and do it again. This is about you and your journey. That's why you should do it. You're not going to learn about publishing or how to publish or if you should publish or what you should publish by thinking about it. Thinking is only going to get you so far and usually not very far at all. You learn more by actually doing it. It's confusing at first, especially if you're self-publishing. I remember the first time I self-published, I had to create this big long list as far as what the steps were to take. And I kept going, okay, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this. It feels really overwhelming the first time. But if you break it down and you take those little steps, you're going to be able to make it happen. And the next time you're going to be more experienced. And the next time you're going to be more experienced. Only by doing will you grow as a writer to where you can start putting more and more books out there. And I think that's where most of us want to go. What you will learn when you publish a book is that marketing is this whole other thing, and getting people to actually read and pay attention to your book is really hard. It requires a whole nother bunch of activities that you need to be doing. It's like building your platform and doing outreach and getting traffic to your website or whatever you need to do to get people to know that you actually have this book out here that they might like. There's a whole nother side to publishing that includes all of that. Hopefully you will be working on that at the same time that you're working on publishing your book. But understand that even with all that, this book looms in your mind larger than it does in anybody else's, and nobody else cares. So even if you put something out there that turns out to be not great, not a lot of people like it, maybe it doesn't have all that many good reviews, nobody cares. Go back and try again, do another one, put the next one out. You'll see. If you do it, yes, it's scary. It's still scary to me every time I put a book out. With every book, even after 7 books, I'm like, okay, I hope people will like this. We'll see how the reviews are as they come in. It's always nerve-wracking. But the truth is that even if they aren't great, not many people are paying attention. This is probably one of the most freeing things that you can think about when you're thinking about publishing your book. Do it. Go through the process. Get it out there, then get on to the next book so that this one isn't sitting there bothering you so much. I took way too long to do that. I would have built my career faster if I hadn't spent so much time on that first book. So I recommend you do the same. If you feel it's good enough to publish, publish it. If you don't feel it's good enough to publish, put it in the drawer. I'm not saying you should publish everything that you create, but if you feel that you have created a book that is ready to be published, then publish it. So that's it, my 7 reasons you should publish even if you're afraid to. If you have more, please add them to the comments. I would love to hear if you were scared before you published your first book. What was it like for you? What did you realize after it actually came out? Do you still feel afraid when you put a book out now? And how do you deal with that? For me, working on the next book is always the solution for any angst you may feel about the book that's out there now. Let me know what you think and what your experiences have been. And if you're interested in a historical fantasy about King Midas, who was actually a real person, please do check out The Curse of King Midas, book 1 in the series. And I will see you next time.